Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy South Central. We back at it again. All right, guys. So we're gonna do a reaction to the Dave Smith interview at the Joe Rogan show. All right. I don't know too much about Dave Smith, but I know he's a comedian. I don't really watch. I never really watched his comedy, so I can't give you a proper analysis of how good he is. So I don't want to get into that. This is a 15-minute clip from the Joe Rogan podcast, and I know you probably know who Joe Rogan is. I like Joe Rogan. He's a very curious person. He asks great questions, and he tried to get to the root of his question, right? He tried to get to the root of what he really wants to know. The only thing that I have against him is that he won't interview Trump for some odd reason. To be honest, that's the only person that he's missing when it comes to interviews. I would like to know what Trump thinks outside of politics and how he really breaks down information. How does he truly feel about certain things? I think Tucker Carlson did a proper interview with him, but it's like, I mean, it's good, but it's not a Joe Rogan interview. And I think that's what the country's missing. And I think he's doing a very disservice of the American people by not doing it. But then again, it is his podcast, so you can't tell him what to do. But it would be very helpful and it'd be very informational for the American people to watch that and try to get into the depth of how he thinks and why he thinks the way he thinks. A lot of people say that he's good at 3D chess, so maybe that plays a great part of what's going on. I don't know. But they say that he's very smart and that most of the things that's happening right now, he's partly in control of due to his mental capacity. But I don't know. It would be great to hear conversations, hear the back and forth with him and Joe Rogan and try to see what you get out of it, right? But not having it kind of sucks and you want it. But when you have it, it's like, maybe it won't be as crazy as you think it'll be. But then again, you know, when you are left without something, you want it. So that would be a great thing. And also another thing that I probably have against Joe Rogan is sometimes that he can't see the truth. Like sometimes the truth be put right in his face. And he chooses, it's like I don't think he chooses to overlook it, but he's so curious sometimes. It's like, no, it has to be something else. It can't just be that. No, I mean, the government's corrupt and it's not too much you can try to see other than what it already is. But that's also a superpower because, I mean, him being curious and him want to know things and being overly curious sometimes bring truth to the light, right? And you might find things that you like that you probably wouldn't even ask, right? That you probably wouldn't even want to know, but it's very important. So that's a great thing. So let's get into this interview, guys. And this is only a 15-minute clip from that interview. So hopefully you guys enjoy.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Well, look, even like with this Trump thing, man, it's like I was saying how so many people still believe the Russia collusion story, which was all made up, man. And you can go follow this whole thing. It was all made up and they knew it. They knew what they were doing. There's that clip, by the way, before any of this stuff. This is before Donald Trump ever took office. Did you ever see the Chuck?
Now, I mean, 24 seconds in, I think that due to his response already, I don't know the conversation or the context of the conversation, but it seems like he don't watch the news a lot, which is a good thing, and he thinks for himself. And in today's society, it's wrong to think for yourself. That's good that he it's good that he did his own research and he came up with the same accusation that I came up with, that they lied, they knew it. It's hard not to see that. They were after Trump the whole time. They spied on him, they lied on him, and it was all for a reason. Okay, they hate Trump. They hate America. They want us to bend the knee. They want tolerance. They want you to give up. They don't want a person that's going to challenge the three-letter agencies. They want a person that's just going to give in and just be a politician. Just do what we tell you to do. Put on a good face, say things, never do what you say you're going to do. Do what we tell you to do. That's the establishment. That's the swamp, per se. And they had a lot to do with the false accusation that he's a spy, right? They could have caused a whole bunch of problems doing that as far as war. They could have caused people to overreact due to really thinking that he really is a spy. Anything could happen when it comes to a person being a sellout or selling this country out, and they're the leader of the government, if that makes sense. But we have one now, and nothing's happening.
Chuck Schumer, 6 Ways to Sunday.
You were telling me about it last night. You were saying we should watch it today.
We should play this because and let me just preface it briefly to kind of set up what's so amazing about it. There are these occasional moments where even, like I said, the thing where Chris Murphy just happens to blurt out, like, oh yeah, our policies overthrew Yanukovych, right? Like, there are these moments where kind of like these rare moments of honesty from the kind of leaders of the regime.
Yeah.
And this one comes because Rachel Maddow asks him like an impromptu thing. And she says that. She leads that. Yeah. So, but this is just, and just so you know, this is Donald Trump has been elected, but he hasn't been, he's a president-elect here. So it's after the election, but he's not president yet. So this was about him tweeting something here.
But he's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting.
Doesn't Chucky Schumer doesn't he look like the Green Goblin? Or is it just me? He looks like the Green Goblin off of Spider-Man, bro. Like, for real.
To the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
Talking about the actual Green Goblin mask, not the actor.
So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know, but from what I am told, they are very upset with how he has treated them and talked about them.
From a head guy in government, if he's that fearful of the get back of just scrutinizing those 3-letter agencies will give you, what does that tell you as an American person? So even a president, he's telling the president to be fearful, like watch out because you don't want to go against him. So if the leader of this country, right, the chief of this country should be afraid of what these 3-letter agencies will do to him, what does that say to the American people? Who actually has the power? Because people in government fear these people. Who are they? Who are the CIA? What do they do? Are they doing their job? Are they not open for scrutiny? Are they not open for change? If they're doing something wrong, could people not dismantle them and make a better agency? FBI, CIA, or it's like a 3-headed monster that you can't really talk about. You can't really dib and dab. It's its own entity. It works outside the government. Even the president can't control them. That's dangerous.
So, and what happened right before that is that Rachel Maddow goes, she goes, all right, I'm sorry to put you on the spot here, but Donald Trump just tweeted this thing about the intelligence community. Any thoughts on that? So it's not like he was prepared for this.
Right.
And that's great. See, the thing about Trump is that he's not afraid to voice his opinion. Although people might be pushing this, I'm sure there's people in this camp saying, hey, you don't want to mess with those guys. Yeah, Trump is that guy to say, no, forget that. They need some type of scrutiny. They're wrong. Something needs to happen to them. And we need people like that in office that's going to push back, right? Although that they might have false accusation against them, they might have very troubling times come to them, but they understand that they understand duty and what America needs to do in order to get back to where we need to be. And those 3-letter agencies are causing problems. It's even causing deaths when it comes to starting wars, okay, controlling countries, starting new regimes in countries. That's what they're doing. Okay, and it's wrong. Who's going to speak up? You're getting a little piece of what Donald Trump probably got when he got to the presidency. People speaking in his ear like, hey, whatever you said, it's great. You're a great guy. You know how to speak. You know how to rile people up. Perfect. But do not do what you say you're going to do. Okay, when it comes to these 3-letter agencies, did you see what they did to John F. Kennedy? Don't be that guy.
The most powerful senator in America, his initial gut reaction was like, well, dude, you're taking on the intelligence. I mean, you want to go up against the CIA? You think you're going to win that fight?
Yeah.
Like, they're going to get you. And this was already after.
And that's coming from a top senator to a president, a person that's supposed to be above all these 3-letter agencies. He's saying, don't mess with that agency. You're going against this agency? You're crazy. You're not going to win. Who's in charge of America then?
They had already been, they were spying on his campaign. They had already kind of begun framing him for this whole Russia thing, which was always nonsense. Now, it started with, the Steele dossier and all that stuff. And then they were spying on Carter Page, who was like a pretty low-level advisor in Donald Trump's campaign. And the allegation was that the Russians had offered him a huge stake in like one of their biggest energy companies if he could get Donald Trump to remove all of the sanctions.
I mean, it sounds like Biden to me. It sounds like something Biden did with Ukraine. But to be honest, they will go to any lengths to get Trump out of office. They went to any lengths to slander him, to make him look horrible, to make him look like a unjust person. Russia, Russia, Russia. That's all you heard his whole his whole presidency. The spying. They did that on purpose. It never has happened to any president publicly. It may have happened, but it didn't happen publicly, and nothing happened. We didn't even get a public apology. Nobody cared. Move on. Next indictment. Let's go. Oh, Trump did this. Trump did that. No. Let's stop here. Trump is a human. You lied on him. You spied on him. You made other Americans hate this guy and spill the same thing that you're spilling, knowing that it was a lie. There was no recourse. Nobody went to jail. Nobody paid for their crime. Why should we listen to you? Why should we respect you? Why should we even hear anything you have to say outside of what just happened? That's a big deal. But when I speak to lefties, right? When I speak to people who are liberals, they truly don't understand what just happened. They just moved on with their life like nothing happened. You slandered him. You took a part in that. You know, if you're a fair and just person, what just happened? Not saying that you would love Trump and all this other stuff. Just as much as you put in the effort of slandering him, you put in the effort of clearing his name, especially when it comes to being a Russia spy. But you won't hear that from them. You won't get that from them. Being unfair is their game. Okay, they've been rules. They've been laws to do what they want to do. But once you call it out, it's like you're the bigot, you're the monster, you're the racist, you are the person that does not want justice for America. Democracy. You hate that. What all it is a scam. It's all to shame you into compliance. Okay, it's just to flip it and make it seem like they're the more noble people. They're not. Okay, they're horrible. They're very horrible and vicious.
That we had at the time on Russia, which on the face of it made no sense. Because he's like a low-level advisor on the campaign. He's not even in the administration.
Was this based on intercepted emails?
No, this was based off the Steele dossier, which was opposition research that Hillary Clinton had funded, where she hired this British spy to go like dig up dirt on Donald.
Bro, Hillary Clinton is the biggest swamp monster there is. Okay, if you were to think of a swamp monster, that would pop up immediately. That's like if you were playing a monster game. That's one of the final bosses, okay? And Carl Schwab is like the top guy, but she's one of the bosses. Anything she funds must be questionable. You must question the action. You must question why. Why are you funding this person? Why are you connected with Clinton? Are you going to die later on? Who knows? All I'm saying is this: anything she does is questionable and is not to be trusted. She's a swamp monster, a creature at best. Okay.
Trump. And they put together this whole dossier alleging that he was, he had been in bed with Russia for years. He was compromised. It was that the prostitutes were peeing on him and all this like crazy shit. And they all knew it was unverified. They all knew it was like all of it, almost all of it was ended up being disproven. But so when they went to Carter, but just to understand, like the idea of trying to bribe a low-level advisor on a campaign to then somehow take over the administration once he got it'd be like on the level of if someone was like, we're going to bribe the door guy at the mothership to make sure that the Joe Rogan Experience only talks about these subjects. And you're like, I mean, even though that's
a good analogy. He's not that close to Joe Rogan. He's doing his job. Like he probably don't even know Joe Rogan. Okay, is that crazy? They came up with that. They were unprepared, but it doesn't matter. When it comes to lies, who cares? I just want the guy to be shamed. I just want to bother him. I want to spy on him. I want to make sure that he doesn't he doesn't release certain things in the government that will let the people know that that's very corrupt. I don't want him to step in my business. I don't want him exposing me. So I'm gonna spy on him. And guess what? I don't have to have a reason, but I need the ants to know that there could be something here. This is why we're spying on him. There was a alleged person out of nowhere said that Trump could be a Russian spy. I believe him. So guess what? We're going to spy on him. That's all we need. That's all they needed, okay? That's all they needed.
Loose connection between you and the guy who works at the mothership. The idea that he would ever then be able to come in and take over the show and control, it just made no sense. But we now know that the CIA told the FBI that Carter Page was a good guy, that he was a CIA informant.
So these same three-letter agencies that Trump scrutinized is the ones that participated in this dossier, in this scam. You're not allowed to scrutinize them or else they'll come after you. And they did come after him, and this is a result of it. And I think they're still doing it because, I mean, back then when you used to scrutinize Obama, they used to say, well, he's not president. Now that Trump isn't president, you still heard his name throughout the 4 years of Biden. It didn't stop. Rules for thee and not for me. We're gonna focus on him no matter what. We looking for everything. We gonna keep bothering him. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care if it even fails. We gonna use the Americans' dollar to start up false information, misinformation, disinformation, to tell you that that's the proper information. And if you say that this is all a scam, that's misinformation, disinformation. I'm the leader of the truth. Although that's not the truth, my truth is true. By the time you figure out, you got another indictment. Who cares? That was a lie. Yes, so what? Get over it. We got another indictment. This one is for real this time. He's going under the jail, I promise. That is the Democratic Party for you.
Then they told the FBI, they were like, no, he's not a spy. He's one of ours. So just lay off. And then the FBI lied about that on the FISA application. And this was the only guy who went down for the frame job, was this one FBI lawyer for misrepresenting what the CIA said. So basically, they said that he was approached by Russians, and that he was approached by a group of Russians to see if he would turn and work for them. And the CIA were like, yes, he was. And he came right back to us and told us about it. And then when they were putting in the application for the FISA warrant, the FBI said he was approached by these Russians and the CIA confirmed it. So they said that the CIA confirmed that he was approached by these guys, but they left out the part that the CIA said, and he came right back to us and told us about it. So that one guy was the only guy who got charged.
Did he get...
Because it was no jail time, but he did get charged.
Carter Page got charged?
No. The FBI agent the FBI lawyer who lied on the application.
Oh, interesting.
Carter Page, they had 3 FISA court warrants on him. They spied on him all up and down. Never been charged with anything.
It's a game. They spy on the people who has nothing to do with anything. They destroy their rights. You don't have a right. I have a right to spy on you. I am the government. I can create anything out of thin air and spy on you. And guess what? I have constituents that will agree with me. Although I'm wrong. That's why they're speaking about civil war. No, we know who the problem is. Why fight a person who truly believes in what you say, although you're a liar? We know you're a liar. We know you're a liar. All you need is one person to believe you to justify your action.
Because he wasn't a spy.
Right.
And Donald Trump, even now, with all these charges, right? He's never been charged with treason. He's never been charged with inciting an insurrection, because they know they can't get him on those charges. So what they're getting him on is all these like novel legal theories. Well, it's not very clear that he violated the statute, but if we interpret it this way, we could make the argument for the first time ever that this was actually a violation of law. It's all like they're grasping at straws. And it's
Of course, they don't want him to run. They will do anything they can to stop that. They don't want the American people to get who they honestly choose. They don't want that. They want to play games. They want to go around laws, okay? They want to misinterpret laws to benefit themselves, to make it seem as if Trump is a criminal. It's all misinterpretation. It's all ideology. It's not even true. Nothing is rooted in fact anymore. All about ideology. I believe that he's wrong. How is he wrong? Oh, he did the same thing that Biden did. He did the same thing that Hillary Clinton did. And they let him off. So what? But Trump did it. Do you know who Trump is? He was a Russian spy, but now he's not. But he's still evil. Like, are you going to apologize for that? No, but he's still evil. Listen to this. It's not about about ideology. Don't go against that. Okay? Stay in your lane.
It's very clearly like they've weaponized the legal system against this guy. It's not a coincidence that all of these indictments are coming down right now. Like, why was the January 6th thing? Why would any of this be coming down right now?
Right.
All those other people in January 6th, they got charged and arrested immediately. It was determined by the powers that be,
Wrongly, because some of them just walked in there. It's justified because Trump is associated. Oh, well, you did it because Trump said do it. I'm going to punish you. What about the Black Lives Matter rights? That don't matter. It's not sufficient. Who cares? We're talking about January 6th here, okay? The worst thing that happened since Pearl Harbor. The worst thing that happened since 9/11, okay? Understand that this is terrible. It's all a game. It's all wordplay. It's nothing's true about it. It's all wordplay.
With the corporate media, the deep state, all of the establishment, that he was unacceptable. And that's not new to Donald Trump. There were a lot of candidates who have been determined to be unacceptable. Ron Paul was unacceptable. Bernie Sanders was unacceptable. Tulsi Gabbard was unacceptable. And you saw like the machine be weaponized against all of them to keep them out. But Trump beat the machine. Yeah. The difference is Trump won. I mean, there's other differences, but the guy who they determined was not acceptable ended up winning. And part of what was so powerful about that is that it kind of destroyed the the illusion of inevitability that I think progressives rely on. That, you know, like progressives will very confidently tell you that you're on the wrong side of history, you know, which is like a really interesting thing to say if you think about it. Like you're on the wrong side of history, meaning like it's a guarantee that history is moving in my direction.
Right, because it's propaganda. They think that they're winning. No, we're the silent majority. We know what bathroom to use. We know what X and XY chromosomes are. We know what tyranny looks like. We know that they want us to eat bugs and own nothing. We know the truth about Hillary Clinton. We know these things. They know. But they want you to believe with propaganda that you're the minority. Shut up. This is the new way of thinking. No God. It has to be godless. No one is accountable for anything. Blame it on everybody else. Your actions is blamed on everybody else. Be a whore. Hate your kids. Have an abortion. That's women's rights. Kill a baby. This is what they truly want you to believe. They wordplay thing. They have wordplay. Word games. It's not the truth. A man could get pregnant. That's the new way of history. And you're wrong. Everybody believes me. This blue-haired guy with 3 nipple rings and his wife's husband is kissing on her. But you are on the right way of history. No. False, all a lie. Like I told you before, word games. They want you truly to believe that. But if you don't believe in propaganda, you don't watch the news, and you look what's around you, people don't think like that. Regular people don't think.
And I'm telling you how you will be judged in the future based off how you feel right now. Yeah. And they kind of have good reason to feel that way because they have been kind of moving in the direction that they want to move in.
No, they want you to think that because these big corporations are listening to New World Order and globalism and getting their ESG score up. That don't mean they truly believe that. That just means they want money. They will sell out for anything. Humans are corruptible. And just because those humans are corruptible, look at the majority of people. The majority of people are not doing those things. That's why they want to censor people that's exposing it. They want you to truly believe that people really think like that. Very false.
It was just like, we just had the first black president, and now we will have the first female president. And of course, this throwback bigot, male chauvinist Donald Trump could never possibly win. Like, this is what's going to happen in history now, is Hillary Clinton is the next president.
How
and
are they
not happening?
How are they going to stop him from winning again?
Can't. Slander, find any way to gel him. They're working tirelessly to figure it out. Rogan, this is a question that we all want to know. They may possibly kill him. To be honest, they may have to because it's not going to stop. But they're going to cause a massive uproar. I promise you, it's not going to stop. But that's the extreme of the extreme. They're already doing the extreme. To be honest, right now,
they're trying.
Oh yeah, that's what all these indictments are right now.
The problem is, it has the opposite effect on his base. It doesn't make people reluctant. It makes people more convinced that there's a conspiracy against him. It makes people more convinced that there's corruption that's fighting against him.
I think.
I mean, I know where he's getting with this, but it's like, it's not being convinced. It's literally like showing you, if you see something that's happening, you have your own discernment, right? I did my research. I understand that these people hate Trump, okay? It's that simple. They're doing whatever. Russiagate. False. It's all a lie. Am I not okay to make the assumption that the government is corrupt and they'll do anything to stop him from running? They literally showed that. And I'm just saying assumption just for fair play. But to be honest, like, I see what I see. Do you not see that, Rogan? Like, what do you mean? It's very hard to say that we're convincing ourselves. No, we're not convincing ourselves. It's happening in real time. It's hard not to think that.
Personally, that Trump was at his most vulnerable within the Republican primary at the very beginning. I thought for the first time to me, he seemed like he was very out of step with his own base. He's sitting there still bragging about Operation Warp Speed and how he saved hundreds of millions of lives by developing the vaccine. He was getting booed a few times at his own speeches.
Now, that's one thing that I would say that I hate about Trump. His constituents, us, we don't like that. We don't care for it. Stop talking about that. I don't know if you paid off by Big Pharma or like what's the issue? Why do you keep this going? Why, Trump? Like, we love you for you, bro, but I hate that you keep doing that. But we like you because you speak the truth and you speak about what you truly believe. And although we may not agree with it, you are American. You are allowed to say whatever the hell you want to say. I'd rather you tell the truth than say what I want you to say. But I really hate that you keep going that route because we hate that. We hate that, dude. We truly do. But to each his own. If he truly believes it, he has a right to truly believe it. But I don't.
he just seemed kind of out of touch, and it seemed like, it seemed like the energy of his campaign wasn't 2016, which was Make America Great Again. This was like my vengeance tour. They screwed me. I lost, but I really won. I'm gonna come back and win again. And it seemed to me like that wasn't really connecting. And then
no, it's connecting. Oh, we want to see we want that wrath, right? Dark magic. We want that because they need to pay for what they did. Like, it's just that simple. You need to dismantle them. You need to do something to fix it. Something needs to be fixed. Okay, nobody else talking about that. And if they do talk about it, like what have they? You don't have that experience, that hurtful feeling to be like, you know what, I have to do something about that. That's my main priority. That mugshot, that hurt, that pain, that look, you know that it's infuriating. You know the bothering, the spying, it's all wrong. You need a person that has that experience to go in there and do what they need to do. No playing, no more friends. I don't need friends. I need people that's on the same page as me when it comes to getting these tyrants out of here. It needs to happen, like tomorrow. Like now.
Before DeSantis got in the race, but it was heavily speculated that he would be getting in the race. And, he was like this guy who has a very good record on COVID, at least compared to all the other governors, just about all the other governors. And there just seemed to me like there was an opening there. There was like a vulnerability. And then they raided his house in Mar-a-Lago. And I felt like that guaranteed Trump front run. Like that guaranteed it for him. Because as soon as they did that, it was like, oh, now it's like it's shifted right back to this, like, look what they're doing to your guy. They want to not give you the chance to vote for this guy. They're going to weaponize the justice system against this guy because you like him. They're not, and they're doing it to him. Because
and that's how I truly felt at the time they did that. That's why I truly felt. It's like, we need to get him. We need to get him.
They want to do it to you. It kind of gave him like all this energy back. And so there's a real dynamic to that where his numbers go up every time a new indictment comes out.
Yeah.
People aren't buying into it because it's not like, look, it's just so obvious that it's politicized. The interesting thing, there's an interesting thing about the law. Like, people have this conception of what the law is, and then there's the reality of it. Like, people have this conception of like there's a rule written down on a piece of paper, and that's the rule. And if you break that rule, you broke the law. And if you don't break that rule, you didn't break the law. But that's not really how it works. It's like in the same way, like down to the lowest level, if you get pulled over by a cop, there's times where like he could give you a ticket or he could let you off with a warning, And like sometimes it's just how that guy feels.
Right.
Maybe he knew you. Right. Maybe stuff she goes, oh shit, Joe Rogan. I'll let you off with a warning. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there could be so many different factors. Well, like just for example, okay, so James Clapper, he was the director of national intelligence. As basically the head of the shadow government. That's the highest position in the deep state. You're the CIA answers to you.
Now, for the law thing, it's like how you interpret it. Okay, you see them breaking laws all the time, but it's like, well, it's open for interpretation. But it never was done in history. Yeah, but it's open for interpretation. So, yeah, I will prosecute this person for the same thing that just happened, and I won't prosecute this person to, maybe it's connection, maybe a good lawyer. And you start to learn this day by day. It's like, okay, what's the law then? Especially when it came to January 6th and Black Lives Matter and Antifa. Like, it's total difference, right? But one got the worst of the law, right? The law must be you must abide by the law. No one's above the law. And they got nothing. Why did that happen? Some people might say that, hey, it's to, us, we know it's the district attorney's not doing anything and I don't want to take the case, and they are paid by George Soros. But most people will say that, especially on the left-hand side, they say that, well, they went inside a government facility. They knew that they trespassed. They did this. They did X, Y, Z. Same spelling point that they tell you on the media what to believe and what to see. Knowing that, it's probably FBI agents there, who knows. And for Black Lives Matter and Antifa, who killed people and, got away with murder and did plenty of things, it's like, well, let's not talk. Nobody took the case. The DA doesn't have to take the case. They didn't have to do it. It's all a game, okay? They want you to hate your country. Put it side by side. Black Lives Matter, Antifa. They hate the power. They hate the dynamic family. They hate the patriarchy. They hate America. They literally hate what America stands for, and they get away with murder. You trespass. Let's say they trespass, okay? And fine. They trespassed. 30 years. 3 years, 4 years. And they love America. They literally felt that, hey, man, they came in droves and said that, hey, something is wrong here. Some of them didn't even answer. They was just there 3 years, 4 years. Some still in jail now, dude. So it goes to show you who the government and who those big swamp monsters are in favor of.
Oversee the CIA and the NSA and the FBI and all this stuff. And he lied to Congress very blatantly. Like, no question about it. He was asked point blank, is the NSA involved in any bulk data collection on American citizens? Said, no, we're not.
Lies. They always lie.
Then Ed Snowden came out and exposed that he clearly was. And he was the...
And then Snowden became number one enemy. To be honest, when it comes to stuff like that, it truly angers me to even watch like the Senate questionings and stuff like that. It feels like a big theater to me. You're not gonna do anything about it. Yeah, they lie under oath that nothing's get done. Nothing happens. We all know they're lying. You ask questions that you already know the answers to. And I respect Jim Jordan. I respect Paul. I respect all of them, dude. Like the ones who really want the truth to be told and expose things, but nothing gets done. And these people, it's open season when breaking laws, bro. There's no accountability. There's no one's holding them accountable for it. So what do you expect when it comes to unlawlessness? They're going to keep breaking laws, even in the Democratic states, they break laws. It's normal. It's never going to stop because who's holding them accountable?
The DNI, like, he knew this. Okay, he lied to Congress. Why isn't he arrested for it? It's like, because there's no political will to arrest that guy. He's of the deep state. He's one of the top guys. He's not getting arrested.
No, but no one's above the law. No one's above the law. Moral democracy. They're threatening our democracy. They don't give a flip about democracy. They don't care. And it's on you to do your own research, bro. You see it night and day in front of you. It's very hard to not believe that the government is corrupt. And it's only corrupt on one side. It's only corrupt on one side. And I say the rhinos are on the other side. They're just dressing up as Republicans. They don't give a flip about America. They just don't. It's easy to sell out because you get paid for it. You get a big pension. You got an escape plan. They give you an escape plan once they terrorize this country. But what people don't understand is that once they terrorize America, where else are these other terrorized countries are going to run to? Who want freedom? Where else are they going to run to? If America's like everybody else, where else are these people going to run to? And this is why they want globalism.
Michael Cohen lied to Congress. He got a month wrong when he was talking about a deal that he was working on for Trump. He said it happened in June, but it was really in January or something like that. He got charged with that. And because they wanted to put pressure on him to get him to flip on Donald Trump, which he did. So it's not like there are crimes that are committed all the time. There's just no political will. There's no desire to arrest that person. And I think the thing that's wild about this with Trump is that if you think of all the crimes that presidents have committed, the idea that this is what one of them is actually going to go down for is insane. Like, Bush instituted torture. You know what I mean? Obama murdered American citizens without charges. These guys lied us into wars. By the way, every war is illegal. The supreme law of the land is the Constitution, and it says only Congress can declare war. The last declared war was World War II. Every war since then has been an illegal war. Anyone could be arrested for this.
I like this guy, man. I like this guy. He knows too much.
Anytime. The legal defense is that they're military actions, not wars. So you know that thing in Vietnam? It probably smelled like a war to you, but no, not a war. Korea wasn't a war. Iraq wasn't a war. Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, Somalia, Yemen. None of those were wars. It's anyone. If there was any political will, any one of these presidents could be arrested for any number of crimes. And yet they're not. But yet Trump didn't give back the classified information quickly enough, even after they asked him. Oh, he's got to be indicted for that. Even though other presidents have done pretty much the same thing, no, he's got to be indicted for that.
What is the...
Because they hate Trump. Anybody's against the establishment, they hate him. Anybody against globalism, they hate him. Okay, they will go against you. They will go against your mama. They will go against their grandma. They don't give a crap. They subscribe to the ideology. They're not bending the knee for nothing. They don't care. They hate this country. I don't know why. They can go somewhere else and do that.
The Georgia thing is interesting because he was going to have a press conference where he was going to reveal all of the information that proves that he was telling the truth about the Georgia election being rigged. Yeah, and he didn't have the press conference.
Arizona.
Yes, well, this is a thing that I got to say is a kind of knock on Trump here. That this is a thing his lawyers, Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani, who just turned himself into custody today. But they would always say this after 2020. We have proof that millions of votes were stolen from Donald Trump and we'll be releasing this soon. And then it just never kind of comes. So I don't know what he thinks he's going to tell us about that. The issue with the thing in Georgia, where I will grant there's like a little bit of a gray area there. And I think that
there's a lot of things that happen that should never happen. Okay. It's not that people are just coming out of the woodworks. Not a millions of Americans are saying that something bad happened here, and I'm just making this shit up because I love Trump so much. That's false. There's something that happened that was not supposed to happen. There's certain things that happened that weren't supposed to happen. There were never no signs of relief. People are literally pointing the finger at what happened. Hey, do a forensic audit here. No. We're going to give you a forensic audit in Texas. I didn't ask you that. Fine, great, perfect. You're telling you where the problems occurred at. Look there. Why are you not looking there? No, we did a hand count. We didn't ask you for that. We're very specific about what we want. And when it comes to Trump giving out, telling you, oh, well, I'll give you 100% of that they stole it, whatever. That's hey, man, at the end of the day, he has lawyers. Same thing with Sidney Powell, and they have lawyers. There's people in their ear saying this is not the best time. I truly believe that because what I've seen is very telling, especially when it comes to the American people speaking to the legislators. That those 3 hours long, 4 or 5 hours long of testimony and testifying under oath. This regular American people, it's something happened, and there's not been any remedy to fix the problem. It's just, so what? Who cares? It happened. So what? You lost. Shut up. No, that's not how America works. We have a right to question elections, just like Hillary Clinton, just like the lady Abrams. Why can't we do it? When we do it, it makes it seem very off. Okay, it's weird. At best, it's very freaking weird, and you don't want to do a forensic audit in which we're entitled to as Americans. That's questioning something that happened.
Look, it's there is a gray area there. It's kind of like when they impeached Trump over Ukraine. There was like a little bit of a gray area of like what exactly he did. It's just that when you look at things of all the crimes that presidents commit, the idea that you go after a president for this, it's so petty compared to these great.
Man, Trump just asked him, "Hey, man, what happened with your boy? With your boy over there, man? What's going on? Who committed the real crime was Biden." I don't want to talk about what he did, but if you know what he did, and he brags about doing it. Ain't nobody talking about that. Shut up. It's cracking the White House. Who cares? Who gives a crap? Nobody cares. Move on with your life, man. Get over it. This is ridiculous, bro. It's one-sided, and it's very frustrating for people to still be arguing with you about certain things that they know it's off, at least at best. If you're a biased person, just say that it's off. Give us that. And understand where we're coming from when we're saying something bad is happening and there's no remedy to what the fuck just happened. It's fair. It's very fair for an American to say that.
Greater crimes. But like, he called the Secretary of State in Georgia and was kind of like, I need you to find me these votes. But he was like, look, there's been fraud. I know there's been fraud. You got to go look for it. And the guy's like, I don't see any evidence that there's fraud here. And he's like,
you didn't do no real fucking investigation. That's why you ain't found it. Nobody was interested in doing an investigation like we asked them to do. We asked them to do a specific investigation. When people say, yeah, but they did a recount. We didn't ask for that. Freak the recount. We asked for a forensic audit in Georgia, in Arizona, in Michigan, dude, in Detroit. We asked you very specific things. We told you very specific things. Why are you playing with the American people? Because you got us arguing about shit that we know that we just heard happen, and you got people that didn't even watch it, who don't even give a crap about Trump. Who cares if he lost? He lost. He's just a whiny baby. That's a very unfair fucking analysis of what just happened, because people just literally, they read a one-page summary of a 5,000-page book and say, I found out whatever I needed to find out about this book. Close it. Come on now. Shut up. Be quiet. He lost. He's just a crybaby. You got to look crybaby. You just love Trump. No. Something bad happened and we need remedy. I asked for a certain remedy. You didn't give it to us. So who are you to say that we're just crying babies? Who are you to say that it's free and fair? We didn't see it that way. You can't tell me what I just saw. But this is the problem with the left-hand side, guys. This is the end of the video. This is as much as we're going to go. But this is the problem with the left-hand side. They literally tell you what to believe. They say, no, this is the right way of thinking. No, nothing happened here. So you're telling me what did I just see? You saw a man, but that's a woman. You know what? You're a bigot. You're a monster. You deserve hell, okay? You deserve everything that we're giving to you. That's a kid. No. That's a person that can make an adult decision as far as cutting his balls off. So what? He identifies that, but that's a kid. Kids have always been kids. They're not able to drink or make grown-up decisions. What do you mean? So what? You have to affirm that this kid is a woman, although it's a boy. It's crazy. No, it's maps. It's not pedophilia. It's maps. Might attract a person. It's normal. All they want is compliance. All they want is for you to comply, and tolerance. If you don't comply, just tolerate. Just tolerate it. Just be quiet, man. It has nothing to do with you. It ain't hurting you. Why you worried about it? And guess what? It gets worse and worse because your tolerance is you being defeated. They want you to lower your morals every time you speak. Lower your morals, man. You got too many rules. I don't like rules, okay? I like men in the rules. Give up your morals, man. You'll have a better life. Just give it up. No, that's Satanism. Do what thou wilt. That's what they want you to do. That's what they want you to believe. Give up. Stop fighting, man. Ain't nothing worth fighting for, man. Give up. And that's what we're not going to do, man. We are Americans. We truly believe in America, and we believe in the core values of America, what made America great, and we want to keep those values. And you're not going to step all over them because people die for them. Every privilege that we have today is because someone died. It's that simple. Nothing was given to America, bro. 1776. Nothing was given. We have to fight for it. People argue about the land. Oh, man, the land, and you stole it from... No, it was a big fight. Okay? There's history books about the fight that they had with the Indians. Nothing was stolen. We fought for it, bro. That's how it was back in the day. Everything you stood by, you had to fight for and die for it. And you had to be willing to die for it. And we are relishing in the privileges that our ancestors fought for and that our founding fathers fought for. It is what it is. That's what America is. South Central, we out.
We be really politicking while we whipping in the kitchen. God be my witness. At the age of 15, I was fighting my fitness.